Hey, do you ever get friends that stop by unannounced and they expect you to feed them? Don't you love that? Well, don't feel the pressure to put together a full meal for them. You can make a really good appetizer and then send them on their way. I'm Chris Rodenheiser and you're watching another episode of Cooking for Guys. Today we're going to make crostini, the Italian bread appetizer that's just killer. You're going to love them. Stay tuned. With crostini, all you need is a good loaf of French bread, or any bread really. If you don't have a loaf of French bread, don't feel you can't do it. You need some salt, pepper, olive oil, and garlic. That's it. Then if you want to add some other stuff to it, like tomatoes and cheese and stuff like that, I'll show you how to do that today. So if you're using a French baguette, you want to kind of slice it, I'd say about a third of an inch. And you want to cut them at a diagonal so they're kind of like, you know, good looking as opposed to just little discs. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these in 1/3 slices, 1/3 inch slices, excuse me. And then we'll have about, 8 to 10 of them. Before you do anything to the crostini, you got to toast them. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is toast these little toastettes here. And we're going to put them in, and once we get them toasted lightly, I'm going to rub a raw clove of garlic on them. It's the best garlic toast you're ever going to have. It's better than that buttery kind of garlicky thing that we get in restaurants, Italian restaurants here. So just hang tight until these are toasted, rub a little garlic, and then we'll start to build our crostini. While the bread's toasting for the crostini, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the clove of garlic I'm going to use to rub on top of the toast. So what I'm going to do is just basically, I'm not going to crush it like I've done in some of my pasta recipes. I'm just going to peel it so that I have a whole clove of garlic with no skin on it. One of the things I love on crostini is mozzarella cheese. Now you have to understand the difference between the mozzarella that we get here and the mozzarella that you get in Italy. The mozzarella you get in Italy that you can now start to buy here is mozzarella di bufala, which is made of buffalo milk. It's a lot better, it's softer, it's the kind of stuff they use in fancy Italian restaurants. You can get it right here in America now for like $5 a ball. Take a look at this stuff. So you can see the mozzarella's got a little bit, it's served in water. So I've taken it out of the water and I'm going to dry it so that I don't have, because I don't want wet cheese on my crostini. So I'm going to dry it and then I'm going to slice it. Okay, so get rid of the bowl and let's go ahead and slice that cheese right now. Get a really sharp knife and you just kind of go down and just make slices in the cheese. The toast is done, so I'm going to take it out and put it on a little platter. Let's get all these toasts out. You can see I haven't overcooked them, they're just slightly brown. Let me show you how to put the garlic on the bread. It's really simple. Take a clove of garlic that we already peeled, a toast, and you just draw on it like it's a piece of chalk. And just go ahead and do all your 8 pieces. Oh, don't overdo it, just kind of rub every square centimeter of the toast. And then you got garlic toast, basically. Now it doesn't taste very good without the oil, so the next step is the oil. The first step is the garlic after you toast it. Whoa, got away from me. Alright, let's do the oil. You notice I put the crostini on the cutting board really close together because I'm going to take some olive oil and I'm going to kind of drizzle olive oil all over the toast. And if I have them separated, then I'm just going to be drizzling basically on the cutting board. So the closer they are together when you do this next step, the better. Let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to just take the olive oil and I'm just going to drizzle it all over. And I put the finger on the top of the thing and open it up just a little bit so it allows a little bit of oil to come out at a time. Okay, my bread's oiled, so next stage is the salt and pepper. I always use a kosher salt. It's kind of like fine, and you can pick it up with your fingers from a little bowl. And I always use a pepper grinder. Okay, so I have fresh ground pepper and kosher salt. Let's go ahead and just sprinkle that on the toast right now. You just pick up a little pinch, and you watch what you're doing as you just kind of lay it on the toast so that you're not hitting one toast too much and one toast not enough. So you're going to salt it lightly, then you're going to take your pepper grinder, and you're going to pepper it all over too. So now you've got basically your crostini. Toast with garlic, olive oil, salt, and pepper. With the basic crostini recipe that we just saw, we can add variations to it to kind of spice it up a little bit. You don't always want to have just plain garlic toast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of mozzarella that you saw me do earlier, and I'm just going to lay it on top of the toast. Okay, that's one option. Another option is I can take some of these tomato slices and I can layer them on top of the toast. I can take a mozzarella and I can do the same thing I did with the first one, but then I put the tomato slices on top of the mozzarella. I can take some Parmesan cheese and just do it right on top of the toast, like that. And I can even do it on top of the tomato, but if you got guests that don't like Parmesan cheese, you don't have to do that. I take a little basil, and I take little pinches of it, and I put it on top of the tomato ones, because tomato and basil go really well together. So those are a couple options. And the other option I have is to use a queca, which is a fresh chopped tomato sauce, which I'm going to show you in just a bit. But before I do, I want to pop these in the oven, because I want to kind of make sure that when I have anything with cheese on it, I kind of toast it one more time. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to put these crostini in the toaster for about 2 minutes, but instead of toasting them, because the bread's already toasted, I'm going to actually broil them. So I'm going to turn my thing to broil. If you don't have a toaster oven like this, you can do the same thing that I'm doing in the oven. I just don't like to heat up the whole oven to make a couple pieces of toast. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And I'd say about, 2 minutes. You kind of watch them. If you see the cheese melt, you know they're done, basically. They don't have to be all heated all the way through, but just to kind of get that cheese to melt. Tastes a lot better. There's a little known tomato sauce in Italian culture called queca. I don't actually know what it means, but what it is a chopped up tomato, uncooked, and you put olive oil, salt, pepper, and sometimes you can put garlic in it. I don't put garlic in mine because I have garlic on my toast. But with bruschetta, you just cut up a tomato, a cherry tomato, into slices. So we're going to do that, and I've already got some going for the interest of time, so I'll show you how to make queca right now. Okay, with queca, what you have to do is I've got the tomatoes cut up. I've got to take some of the kosher salt and I have to sprinkle it on the tomatoes. And this helps helps the tomatoes release their water. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that up and let it sit for a while. After it's sat for a while, I'm going to drain the water out. Now I did one ahead of time. Here it is. And I'm going to show you. So this is already salted tomato. If you can zoom in on this, I'm going to drain that water. Look at all this water that comes out. That would be water on your toast, on your crostini. You don't want that. So I'm going to drain all that water out, even squeeze a little out, so that basically I just have tomato. Now I'm going to go ahead and season it. The only thing it was seasoned with before was salt. So it's already salted lightly. And now I'm going to just season it with olive oil. It's just a guggle of it. Guggle a word. Pepper. And basil. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and stir that up. This is called queca. It's really good on spaghetti or linguine or capellini, but it's also really good on crostini. Hey, I took my toast out. Look at these babies. Aren't they looking good? You know, one of the things I noticed is that I cook the basil in the toaster, and I don't think I would do that. I don't recommend that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put fresh basil on top. But now you have a combination of cooked basil and fresh basil. That'd be really nice. Now I'm going to take those 2 pieces of toast that I didn't use before, and I'm going to go ahead and put my queca on that I made. This stuff is typically called bruschetta. Bruschetta, though, is usually done over a charcoal grill where you toast the bread over a grill. But I'm taking some liberty here because, hey, I'm cooking for guys and I didn't have time to start up my grill. And so now I've got a plate of crostini and 2 bruschette, or bruschetta, and I'm ready to serve those to my guests. And really this whole process took about 10 minutes. Don't they look beautiful? One last thing I like to do just before serving my crostini is to take my friend Mr. Olive Oil and do a little drizzle. Gives it a little shine, it adds a little of that beautiful olive oil flavor that I love. And then I take a little salt, just a little bit. Because you tend to know how much you've salted something and how much you haven't. So it's a lot of it is trial and error with salt and pepper. But I think that's going to be it. Those are ready. Let's go ahead and put them on a plate and show you what they look like all presented real nice. Here you go, guys. crostini in under 10 minutes, used with basic ingredients like bread, salt, pepper, olive oil, garlic. And as a bonus, we put on some tomatoes, we had some basil, and some mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. Can't beat it.